For every million souls out there always seems to be one that is simply built different. Elon Musk went from being a bullied kid in love with computers and comic books to being the richest person alive and a meme king. Hey, Soundwave here, and today we'll be talking about Elon Musk and how he defied all odds and made it out the hood to the top of the mountain. Be sure to subscribe and watch to the end to learn the story of the world's most successful entrepreneur. Elon Reeve Musk was born June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, making the richest person in the world South African. Elon was the oldest of 3 children. His parents, Errol and May Musk, were a wealthy couple that passed on some good genes to the children. Errol was an engineer and May was a model. Elon must have gotten his brains from his father and his dashing good looks from his mother. Sadly, Errol and May split in 1979 when Elon was only 8 years old. This was hard on Elon for obvious reasons, but one big one is that he mainly lived with his father after the divorce and didn't see his mother too often. According to Elon, his father wasn't the best person in the world and describes growing up with his father as a living hell. Even still to this day, Elon does not speak with his father. This would shape Elon's perspective on what it means to be a father, which is why he puts a great deal of effort to be in the lives of his many kids. As a kid, Elon would pick up many hobbies to bring a bit of happiness into his life. One hobby he picked up was teaching himself how to program at 12 years old. Some light. Elon would even develop his own video game Blaster and would sell it to a magazine at the age of 13. Boy started young. Elon would also develop a love for comic books. It just so happens that during the 80s, many comic books were based on space and science. This may or may not have affected Elon's love for space travel. Who knows? Elon would live in Pretoria until the age of 18, when he decided to move to Canada to live with his mother. There, he would attend Queen's University for 2 years as one of their best and brightest. Mr. Musk then spent years bouncing around from university to university, picking up degrees but never quite finding his calling. He would end up in Stanford, but after 2 days of studies and 6 figures worth of debt, he would decide to drop out of college to pursue the bag. A true entrepreneur. Elon and his younger brother Kimball Musk would team up to create a startup company by the name of Zip2, a city guide software service for newspapers. Elon's brother would actually be able to get a $28,000 loan from their father that they would use for the new business. What a financial return on investment, because the company would balloon up to $300 million. At the young age of 27, Elon and Kimball sold Zip2 to Compaq in 1999. Elon would take home $22 million, making him a multi-millionaire before the age of 30. Elon was not satisfied, however, and would set his sights on coding a financial service. That same year in 1999, he would co-found another website. Man just could not be slowed down. Elon Musk co-founded X.com, and no, it's not one of those naughty websites. It was a service that allowed people to email money to one another, a revolutionary software service at the time. Around a year later in 2000, Elon would make the next big step and merge with competitor Confinity Inc. A brand new company was created, one you know today as PayPal. eBay would of course buy PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, making PayPal Elon's first billion-dollar company. The first of many, might I add. Elon would take home about $165 million from the buyout, taking him from really rich to stupid rich. IRL Tony Stark would do what many kids dream about doing when they grow up, and that is build rocket ships.
How about that?
In 2002, Mr. Stark founded SpaceX, a company he started to manufacture and build literal rocket ships. Elon would quickly take his fat check from eBay and invest 100 M's into SpaceX. But this would be a cute amount compared to the multiple 10-figure contracts NASA would provide SpaceX with. The only downside is that the contracts would make Elon's new company the world's biggest private producer of space rocket motors. Many people were upset that the company would be privatizing space, with big names such as Neil Armstrong and Eugene Cernan criticizing SpaceX for it. Elon would later get emotional during a CBS 60-minute interview talking about what his heroes had to say.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
Even through the adversity, Elon would stay on his grind and would eventually discover a company that would become synonymous with him. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon would take an interest in Tesla and become a chairman in early 2004 after investing $7 million into the company, a position which has grown today to over $100 billion. Musk would obviously work up his way to CEO, but at first was just fine focusing on product design and creative ideas. No doubt his first few years at Tesla would make him more eco-conscious. In 2005, Elon would make his first cameo in the movie Thank You for Smoking, which would be the beginning of the meme lord's rise into a public figure. Even though this has gotten him in some trouble before, Elon and his companies have benefited from his celebrity-like status, giving him a loyal fanbase that will support him at every turn. In 2006, Elon Musk would invest $10 million into his cousin's Lyndon and Peter's company, SolarCity, It runs in the family, I guess. SolarCity is a manufacturer and distributor of solar-powered systems. Eventually, it would become the second biggest solar-powered provider in the United States. After all of his investments in SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity, Elon would be left with hardly any money at all, and would actually ask to borrow money to pay his rent.
Instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch.
Which goes to show Elon literally puts in everything into his businesses. Musk straight up had a terrible year in 2008, as did most adults considering the housing crisis. Elon was officially named CEO of Tesla and would soon after release a Tesla Roadster, the first ever electric sports car. The Roadster would put Tesla on the map, but it would not save him from one of the worst financial crises of all time. Elon calls 2008 the worst year of his life. Both Tesla and SpaceX nearly went bankrupt that year. SpaceX had budgeted for 3 launches of the Falcon 1 rocket, but all 3 ended up being failures. SpaceX would somehow manage to get enough funding and parts for a 4th flight, which was a success. In the other case, SpaceX as a company would not have survived a 4th flight failure. Tesla almost failed because of how much money they spent on creating the Tesla Roadster. Elon would literally scrape together just enough money on the last hour of the last day possible to close out the financial round. If not for Elon's relentless effort, Tesla would have gone bankrupt 2 days later. Elon would later talk about a really tough decision he had to make that year.
Like one of the most difficult choices I ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had $30 or $40 million left in 2008, and I had 2 choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the 2 companies. But if I split it between the 2 companies, then both might die. You know, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. And so it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the 2. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
Thankfully, after 2008, Elon's companies and his net worth would go straight to the moon. His company's revenue would continue to increase, and Elon would continue to bettering and reinvesting into his companies. According to Forbes, Elon officially became a billionaire in 2012 at the ripe old age of 41. By 2020, Elon had a net worth of $27 billion, and mostly thanks to Tesla, in 2022, Elon Musk now has a net worth of $200 billion. Compound interest, baby. Today, Elon Musk is the richest person alive and already one of the richest people of all time. In most recent news, Elon has purchased the social media platform Twitter on October 27, 2022, just under 3 weeks ago from the time of this video. Elon paid $44 billion for the company and has begun completely taking over Twitter headquarters. It is too soon to see how this will affect the platform, but if there's anyone who can run a company, it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk may have come from a wealthy family, but he was not handed everything on a silver platter. He faced adversities, survived recessions, and overcame the toughest obstacles. The wealthy family, successful parents, and good looks Elon grew up with was actually a broken home, years of bullying, and a bankrupt father that isn't even proud of his billionaire son. Elon's life was not easy, and his success wasn't just given to him. The 5-figure loan Kimball got from their abusive father was turned into a 9-figure business. I promise you that wasn't thanks to daddy's money. Elon and Kimball were the X variable in that equation, not the loan. Elon shows how important it is to have the ability to face adversity, and is living proof that it doesn't matter if you were born from a rich or poor family. You decide what you make of yourself. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. Success isn't decided when you are born.